Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm Leanne, and that's Alan. And we're here with our reactions to AEW's most recent pay-per-view, Full Gear. So we did our predictions for this event previously. We'll put a link somewhere on the screen for you to go and see that. And if you're not aware, this will have a lot of spoilers in it for the event because we're reacting to the event. So if you want to see Rampage, Full Gear, my brain's not working, go and watch that and then come back to us. So watch
I think Rags has been sat on my notebook because there's a wet patch.
You left little paw prints.
It's more like just a little wet patch. Thanks, Rags.
So Full Gear was action-packed. We did get a couple more matches announced since we did our predictions, which we updated in the video description of our predictions video.
That was updated after Rampage, even though nothing got announced on Rampage.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but there we go. So
there's 2 new matches for the pre-show, or the 0 and 1 new match for the main event.
Yeah.
Not a main show, not main event.
Well, we'll get right into them, shall we?
Let's go.
3 matches on 0
Let's go.
Hour.
Full Gear.
Full Gear. The first match on 0 Hour was Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay. This is a fun start to the show. It was like, it's nice to see another women's match on the card because this is one of 2. So it is nice to see that they did add something else, and it was a pretty good match. There's good characters in here. You had Taya Valkyrie interfering, and then getting ejected after spearing Anna Jay, but it didn't result in a DQ, even though the ref blatantly saw it. It was just an ejection. I guess ref's discretion? Yeah,
but this ref was a moron.
It was a bit.
Let's be honest. There was a submission, I'm not sure if it was this match. I know there's a point, at some point, it might have been this match. There was a submission move on. The person got the hold on the ropes. The opponent pulled them away from the ropes. They should have broke the hold.
Yes.
That happened a few times. I know that.
Yeah.
But I think it was in this match as well. And obviously, Taya was getting involved. The referee saw it, didn't do anything about it until she hit the spear. At that point, that should have been disqualification.
That was a full-on offensive move.
That's full-on offense by someone who's not involved in the match. Yeah. That is a disqualification.
But instead, she was ejected. So, a bit of a weird one. But, a good match anyway. The finish was Deonna Purrazzo had a Fujiwara armbar on Anna Jay. But then Anna manages to roll Deonna up for the pin and wins that way. So it was quite short. But not in a bad way. I think for a first match, I think you want that kind of quick palate cleanser.
Keep it explosive, yeah.
So, I'm happy with that one.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see Anna Jay's on the 0 and not the actual main event.
Yeah.
But she's working up. She's gotten a title match recently. She had 2 title matches against Mariah, and you can see the sort of her time in stardom in Japan really has helped her improve. Definitely. And not just like, oh, look, there's 1 or 2 more moves. It was like she has really improved a lot in every single aspect of everything that she's doing, and it's great. Yeah,
which is great to see. All right.
In terms of predictions, you predicted Deonna Purrazzo to win. I predicted Anna Jay to win. So I get the mark with the tick. Leanne gets the
I do. I didn't do very well particularly with the newly announced matches.
Prediction says
Aw, you're gonna make me sad. All right, our second match on 0 Hour was Dante Martin versus Kommander versus the Beast Mortos versus Buddy Matthews. It's a 4-way.
Yep.
Really great match. You had 2 big guys against 2 small flippy guys. It made for quite an interesting dynamic. You had sort of team-ups and as well as like rivalries going on through it.
I mean, I see where you're going with that, but I wouldn't really call Buddy Matthews a big guy.
He's pretty close in size to Beast Mortos when they're stood next to each other.
He's more chiseled. Beast Mortos is more bulky.
And compared to the other 2, it looked just visually like you had 2 little guys and 2 big guys.
But I still wouldn't say Buddy Matthews is a big guy.
Well, I guess it's relative. I really enjoyed this match. I mean, seeing Kommander walk the whole length of the ropes is never going to get old. Just amazing. Like, he walks the whole length, hops onto another rope, and then does a flip off that.
And he gets some killer hang time with it, too.
Oh, yeah. So, it's always great. It was a well-balanced match. A range of different kinds of action going on. Another good pick for a pre-show, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit of everything for everyone, gets people warmed up, and the crowd's starting to fill up at this point, so it sort of picks up that energy.
The crowd was solidly behind Buddy Matthews.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right from the start. which was great to see. A little surprising, but we love it. The finish comes when Dante Martin has Beast Mortos pinned. Buddy Matthews breaks it up with a curb stomp.
I think it was, yeah.
I believe, to Dante Martin, and then he pins Dante to win. So Buddy Matthews wins the match.
Never bet against the house.
Yeah.
House always wins. In terms of predictions, you predicted the Beast Mortos to win.
Yeah, I was dead wrong.
I predicted Buddy Matthews to win.
2 for 2.
I did not bet against the house.
You didn't. Not never again, right?
Not unless I'm dead-sidedly certain that they're not going to win.
Yeah. And then we get to the weirdest match on the card, which we did cover in our predictions. So this is QT Marshall versus Big Boom AJ, who is a TikTok person who reviews food from Costco, I think. We went over this. We have no idea what the build-up was. This match fell a bit flat for us because we don't know these people. There was also, Paul White was on commentary, which is quite interesting, but I didn't really hear much from him. But,
no.
And a kid called the Rizzler was a special guest timekeeper.
Who has a thing for rubbing his chin or something? I
think he's
no
meant
idea.
to have Riz, like charisma, like the young people say these days, I think. But I don't know. I guess he's TikTok as well. I'm not on TikTok. Apologies. So, like, for people who follow these guys, I'm sure this was a great match. And it wasn't, like, wrestling-wise, it wasn't actually bad. It was a fairly solid match.
But you could absolutely tell that QT was carrying it.
Oh, yeah. I think you can tell Big Boom AJ has wrestled before.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he's doing.
I looked it up, and he was an independent wrestler.
Yeah.
So didn't last long, stuff. But...
It was, so I've basically written, it was fine. And if we did follow these guys, I'm sure we'd have enjoyed it more, but it just wasn't for us. So that's
I
fine.
literally wrote on my notes, waste of time.
Yeah.
This should have been like a Rampage match, or at best a Collision match.
I think the thing that irked me most about it is you had, I believe it was Big Boom AJ's family in the front row, the side that Hardcam is on. And then for like most of the rest of the show, those seats were empty. So they obviously come to watch that match and then left, which I felt was a bit... Maybe there's stuff behind it. I don't know what's going on, and maybe they just literally couldn't stay, but it feels a bit disrespectful that they come, have their moment, and then they're off. Whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, no.
In terms of predictions, you predicted QT Marshall to win. I predicted Big Boom AJ to win, and we're going to get to the finish.
I didn't even say the finish.
I know.
I don't know.
This is how much I really want to get off this match.
Yeah. So Aaron Solo interferes, distracting Big Boom AJ. QT Marshall off the back of that preps for the diamond cutter, but what's his face, the kid whose name I forgot. I didn't even bother to look it up.
Big Justice.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what that means.
God knows.
Delivers a spear, I suppose. I think it was meant
calling
to be
that a spear is very questionable.
And then EJ hits a power boom and pins QT Marshall to win.
So I'm batting 3 for 3 on the pre-show.
Well done.
Leanne's batting 0 for 3.
0 for 3, that's me. Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, please do.
To the main show,
Just
Full
awful.
Gear. So we start swiftly, as always, thanks AEW.
Wow, we're still on the 0 hour when I start being like, wait, what?
Yeah, because they start the entrances on 0 hour and then it moves in, so it's always very quick. So our first match is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Kings of the Black Throne, Outrunners, The Acclaimed, and Private Party.
The latter being the current champs at this point.
Yes. Really fun match. So we had House of Black's entrance was played live. I believe the band is Dead Body. Not that they...
Not that Excalibur and Nigel McGuinness really gave a damn.
They didn't
I know you swore then.
mention the name of the band,
No.
and they talked all the way through it, which is a real shame.
That really annoyed me.
Usually when there's a live
Show
band
some
bringing
respect.
someone to the ring, you let them do it.
Yeah. Show some respect.
So that was a bit of a
Tony Khan spent money on this band.
Yeah.
And they just completely poo-pooed all over it. Thanks, guys. Thanks a bunch.
And then we have the Acclaim's entrance where Max Caster's rap, instead of ending with Everybody Loves the Acclaimed, he ends it Everybody Loves the Best Wrestler Alive. And then he throws the mic at Anthony Bowens.
He launched it. Yeah.
So there's some.
He launched it like Bowens owed him money.
Yeah. This was a great match. There was so much going on. Every team came out looking strong, apart from maybe the Acclaimed.
Wow.
But I mean, they had great moments, but they didn't come out looking like a strong team, shall we say?
I think of the teams, and I am kind of biased, but I feel House of Black run roughshod over everyone.
They had a very long section where they just dominated.
They were bulldozing everything,
which is amazing to see. There was a weird moment where somehow Max Caster and Anthony Bowens were legal at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened.
Max Caster seemed to tag in from the wrong corner, which I feel like shouldn't be legal anyway.
Yeah.
So there we go. But they ended up both legal, and the rest like, I don't know, I guess it's fine. And then Max Caster lays down, telling Bowens to pin him, but it's broken up.
Won a private party, I think.
I think so. And we're just like, how is this? This shouldn't even be.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be allowed.
If the Acclaimed win and they lose at the same time, does it default back to private party?
I know, because I've wondered it before. Like, because if there's that much going on, someone could tag themselves in with their own team member. But we've always thought, the ref wouldn't allow it because, like you say, they wouldn't be able to call a finish. Because they win and lose at the same time, so they can't give them the title. They lost.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments down below or on our social media channels. If two members of the same team are in the ring and one of them gets pinned by the other member, how does the result come down? Does that team win or do they lose because they're doing both at the same time?
Especially if there's a title involved.
Yeah,
I think that's
Let us know what your thoughts.
Yeah,
because it's open to discussion. Obviously, we want to get all the discussions in the world with everyone who loves wrestling just as much as we do. And so let us know.
A bit later on, then a lot of the sort of storyline stuff was about the Acclaimed. Anthony Bowens has, I think it's one of Private Party, sort of. Can't remember if it is, but someone. And he's sort of basically getting up for the finish. But Max Caster tags himself in. And he's calling for the mic drop, I believe, something else.
Yeah, I think it was on Private Party, yeah.
But that's obviously causes confusion.
He was calling for Bowens' setup move, which I forget the name of right now.
He's calling for that anyway, and Bowens is like, "What are you doing? I was gonna do my thing."
Because he's literally covering, I think, and the ref's just like, "Dude, you're not legal."
But then because of that confusion, it lets Private Party get the upper hand. Isaiah Cassidy hits Gin and Juice on Max Caster and pins him to win, and Private Party retain.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a fun match.
It was great. I thought it was a really good match.
Daddy Ass looked really disappointed just in
Do you think he's taken the backstage and he's like, you two need to get your bleep together?
Get your stuff together. Come on, guys. We're meant to be a family.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted the Private Party to retain.
Yep.
And we both got that correct.
I've got a point.
You did glance over the really weird entrance for Private Party as well.
Did I? I've forgotten.
The women with the sticks and the
they had glow sticks and champagne bottles, and they were just like
weird, really weird.
It didn't look like they were enjoying themselves very much.
House of Black had the better entrance.
Just saying. They did.
Yes, I'm biased. Yes. So what? They had the better entrance.
We love House of Black. Right. A tiny bit of filler where there's a backstage interview with Orange Cassidy. And then we get on to our next match, which is Roderick Strong versus MJF. Another fun match. We love MJF, although we hate him.
Wow.
I think he's definitely gone more of the now we hate him rather than we love to hate him. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Roderick Strong, I mean, he's great. I don't think he's had much sort of, I don't know, he's not been slept on, but I feel like he doesn't quite get his due all the time.
Well, he's the former international champion.
Yeah. But it's good to see him in this sort of high caliber match.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree. I see you again, I agree.
It's hard to articulate sometimes. After the bell rings, MJF rolls out immediately and grabs a mic. Basically just starts mouthing off at the place they're in and Roderick Strong to rile them up.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, yes. And then most of the match he spends attacking Roderick Strong's fingers. So he gets them, traps them in a turnbuckle and tries to break them, and it has a huge effect on him. And And yeah, it was just a strong match, I think.
Yeah. I thought the storytelling was great in this with the two guys. Obviously, Roddy was aiming at Max's back.
Yeah.
Max was aiming at Roddy's hand, finger to try and stop him, be able to get the grips and whatnot. It might not have been the best match in the world, but I felt the storytelling overcame that, and I felt it was really good showing all around.
Yeah,
Roderick definitely looked strong in this, and I think that's what he needed.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, as you say, I think it's not necessarily that people sleep on Roddy Strong, but he doesn't necessarily get the exposure that he deserves.
Yeah, I think that's the better way to say it. So there's the end point of the match where both MJF and Roderick Strong are kind of spent, and Roderick drapes his arm over MJF for a pin attempt, which sounds like a great idea, but MJF grabs the arm because it's the one that's got the bad fingers. So it's sort of a kind of armbar modified to grip at the fingers rather than anything else. And Roderick Strong taps out, so MJF wins.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted MJF to win. And we're both correct on that one.
Mm-hmm. Following the match, MJF brings a chair and traps Roderick Strong's arm in it, stomps on it. Mm-hmm. And then Adam Cole comes out with the rest of Undisputed Kingdom, causing MJF to run away. And then Kyle O'Reilly appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, wait, it's Kyle O'Reilly.
And he pushes Adam Cole over, basically saying it's his fault that Roderick Strong got hurt, which is in part of the build-up to the match.
Yeah.
He's sort of saying that Adam Cole should be running after MJF to fight him. But Adam Cole wants to be there for his friend.
Yeah.
That's good. Storytelling.
Adam Cole will catch up to MJF in time.
Oh yeah, it'll happen. Our next match is our second and final women's match. Mercedes Mone versus Kris Statlander.
Not the last women's segment, though.
No.
Let's just put that in there.
Yeah. This was a fairly good match, I will say.
Yeah, it was better than expected, is what I put.
Mercedes Mone, while we don't really rate her as a
human being,
she might not be our favorite wrestler in the world.
No.
But she had some really good counter moves going on. There was a couple of times like, oh, okay.
That was interesting, yeah.
It's like being on Chris's shoulders and then pushing herself off the turnbuckle to get out of the predicament. There are a couple of things where she showed that she has got some ring smarts.
Yeah. There was one, I can't remember the move that Statlander was trying to do, but she ended up sort of, it looked like she's kind of flipping her over, she rolled off the shoulder and counted it into like a neck breaker. And
yeah.
Like, what the hell was that? That was interesting.
It was great. So whether she's been like working on counter wrestling, I don't know. There were some sloppy bits, like we would expect.
It's a Mone match, what do you expect?
But it's interesting to think maybe she is learning things and working on what sort of type of wrestling suits her best, and counter wrestling might be it.
Yeah, maybe. She's to step away from the Eddie Guerrero stuff, though.
Yeah, she does it to rile people up now, though.
Yeah, but she needs to step away from it.
Yeah. There's too many people do it. Okay, the finish.
Can we talk just briefly about the very awkward non-froggy splash?
Oh,
the cardboard splash.
Yeah, it was meant to be a frog splash, but she didn't. You meant to like bring your legs and arms in and then spread back out, right?
Yeah, to get the momentum. Yeah.
It was just flat.
I don't even know what the hell she did, but it looked like a piece of cardboard flying through the air and just going.
Yeah, it was just a straight dive.
Awful. Yeah.
I think the closest thing I could think to call it instead of a frog splash is a flying squirrel splash.
Belly flop.
Maybe a belly flop. It wasn't. It was no frog splash anyway. There was no frogging in it at all. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. So the finish. Statlander has Mercedes Mone for a tombstone pile driver, and then Mone attacks the leg and bites her leg.
I think she had it for the Saturday Night Fever.
Oh. Okay.
It's a similar setup.
Yeah,
that's where my brain went. I think she's looking for Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, so Mercedes had been working on the leg quite a bit because of previous injuries that we know about. And yeah, she just bites her in the leg a few times.
And she was punching the leg, and she was punching the thigh.
And then sends her into the ropes and pulls her into a sort of tight roll-up kind of thingy. Just following right through the legs were basically on the floor. So it was a pretty strong roll-up.
Yeah.
And got the 3 counts, and Mercedes Mone was victorious.
I did feel this was a bit of a Mercedes Monet show.
Yeah,
It was pretty much Monet,
didn't
Monet,
get-
Monet, stat, Monet, Monet, Monet,
Mhm.
stat. What Statlander did get in looked great, and obviously she's a phenomenal talent. But I just feel there needs to be a little bit more back and forth in these matches because Monet is not as good as she thinks she is.
Mm.
And you have to play off the other person.
Yes,
So.
you do.
In terms of predictions, I predicted Mercedes Monet to win.
Mhm.
You predicted Kris Statlander as your desired result
Yep.
to win. So I got that correct, and you take the bye.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't want to.
I mean, technically you got it wrong, so not so nice.
Yeah, well, I can do that when you have your desired result as well if you want.
You didn't even remember what mine was, do you?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Next match. Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. So Jay White's alone, which is unusual.
Well, the guns are out with some sort of injury.
Yeah.
We don't know what, but
He's all on his own, bless him. So he didn't have the guns up things. This was a really good match. It was very well paced.
yeah.
Yeah, they were both working on knees.
Yeah. Well, no, Hangman was working on the ankle.
Oh, it's
Not
the
the
ankle,
knee. Yeah, it
is
was
it?
the ankle for Jay White and the
Okay.
knee for Hangman.
I correct it. They were both working on legs.
There we go.
There we go. It's a smart thing to do.
Can't move if you can't got legs. If you can't got legs.
You can't move if you can't got legs.
God.
Yeah, it was great. The finish was probably the craziest bit that I've written down. Was there anything that you had in between?
It was slow and steady, but then when it started building up, got really furious and fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was kind of like fast, 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 slow, 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 fast, fast, fast. And it was quite nice the way they kind of
keeps you
ECG'd it almost. Yeah,
keeps you really engaged, and then you get a break, and
Yeah.
then you pulls you back in.
the only thing was the ending sort of come out of nowhere, and I love that sometimes. It's sometimes great to be like 1, 2, wait, what? That was 3?
Yeah,
You know, and I like that kind of thing sometimes. And this match really felt like it worked really well for that ending.
yeah, definitely. There was no way I could get the whole sequence of moves that led to the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure someone with more experience and who had time to like pause and rewind would get it, but I could not. So I've written there's a crazy sequence of counters back and forth, which eventually ends in Jay White hitting the Blade Runner on Hangman Adam Page and pinning him to win. So Jay White wins. the
Yeah.
match.
I'm really surprised by that because I figured they were going for the rubber match then.
Yeah. It was literally like 6 or 7 moves back to back, just being countered,
It was,
countered. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
These guys work so well together. It's
Mhm.
great. In terms of predictions, you predicted Switchblade to win. I predicted Hangman, so you got that right.
Yes. Finally, one that you didn't get.
Don't get used to it.
No, I won't. All right, our next match then. Long awaited, I suppose. Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Amazing match. Really enjoyed it. It was so good. Full of action. Furthered the story. The storytelling through the match was great. Even in the entrances, you had Ospreay looking so much more serious than usual, and his gear is like inspired by the Punisher.
Just got the goat skull.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was just really good. Just
Yeah.
like he's usually like smiling and
Playing to the
playing
crowd.
but he was just so serious. Just
Yeah, very stoic.
straight to the ring. Let's go. And then Kyle Fletcher has new. I guess is it new entrance music or was just a bit on the start?
I
that was
think it's
different?
a bit at the start. I'm not sure what the music. I haven't really clocked that.
But it was something like I don't want to live forever. I just want to live long enough to be a king.
No, I
or
just want to
something.
die a king.
I just want to die a king. That's right. And he had a crown, which was too small. Left a line. But it was a really cool look. So he's obviously he's got that confidence, which Don Callis definitely helps with.
Oh yeah.
But the interesting thing to me about the look was usually you got the good guy in white and the bad guy in black. And this was flipped completely the other way.
Yeah.
Kyle Fletcher in white and Ospreay in black, which I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I love it.
It almost reminded me a little bit of, I can't remember which year it was. It was WrestleMania, and it was The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
And The Undertaker had found Christianity at this point. Not The Undertaker, sorry. Shawn Michaels had found Christianity at this point.
Yeah.
So Taker comes out as the dead man, the demon, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of he's all dressed in black. And Shawn Michaels comes out as literally a white version of The Undertaker. White trench coat, white gear, white hat, descending from this heaven kind of platform thing. And it was really cool.
Yeah.
And he had, again, it's like the light versus the dark, and it's very similar to that.
Yeah. I do kind of love that it's reversed because Kyle Fletcher sees himself as the good guy, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
That's what it's coming to. You had Don Callis on commentary.
Yeah.
At one point, he abandons commentary to be at ringside, which is fine. Weirdly, no interference.
Yeah.
It was just a straight match. There was... you could say maybe there was shenanigans when Kyle Fletcher hits Ospreay with a tombstone piledriver on the steel steps. Could be seen as...
You might be thinking of Callis leaving commentary for the other match.
Oh, I'm sure it was
might
this
have mixed
one,
it up.
Oh, I might be missing this
You're
one.
mixing it up. I think he stayed there till the end of the match.
Spoiler alert, he was on commentary later in the show as well. Sorry.
I mean, that's to be a given.
Yeah. But I don't think there was any shenanigans
No.
apart from that steel steps thing, which is
the steel
just a
steps
bit
thing.
grey
And that
area.
looked nasty, and it looked
It
like
did.
Carl caught his legs. There was a nasty graze on his right thigh.
Yeah, that wasn't
after that.
not a nice one. But yeah, loved it.
Yeah. The crowd had a good fight forever chant going.
Mm-hmm.
Fight forever indeed. I would love to see these guys over
sure.
and over and over again. I literally put up, it's such a powerful and hard-hitting match. I'm looking forward to the rematch because there will be one at one point.
Be. Mm-hmm.
And that's not a spoiler yet because you haven't told you when. So.
Speaking of which,
segue.
So they're both up in the corner on the turnbuckle, and Kyle Fletcher hits a brainbuster to Ospreay on the turnbuckle, not from the turnbuckle.
On it.
Onto it.
It's the similar thing that happened when it was Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita in his debut match for AEW.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a bit of an homage to that, maybe.
Maybe.
But I mean, it's a hard one. But that obviously means that Ospreay's kind of out of it, and Kyle Fletcher pins him to win.
Yeah, that caught me by it. That sucked the air out of my room.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
It sets up for so much more.
Oh yeah, I'm happy for Kyle Fletcher. I think it's a fantastic thing for Fletcher. I just wasn't expecting it in the first match.
Yeah.
And that's why I predicted Will Ospreay to win.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you didn't. You predicted Kyle Fletcher.
Aha.
And I'm like, what?
That's two I got that you didn't.
Yeah.
Am I catching up? Probably not.
No, don't get used to it.
That's probably the last one.
So, it was fantastic. Absolutely all the way. And I can't wait to see where they go. And obviously after this match, he was just kind of laying there.
Yeah. Mark Davis comes out to check on Ospreay as Kyle Fletcher leaves.
Yep.
And Mark Davis he did it really well, I think, where he was going to check on Ospreay, but he was always just looking behind him because you don't know what Kyle Fletcher is going to do. So I think he played that off really well, and it just adds to that feeling of mistrust and moves that story forwards even more.
Mm-hmm. It's going to come to a point where we're going to have Fletcher and Davis at some point.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's got to be. And maybe some tag, maybe.
I feel like it has to be one-on-one.
Yeah.
They've been tagging together for so long. I feel they know each other. So, and these kind of similar this, there's a lot of counters and back and forth with both Ospreay and Fletcher. I feel it'll be the same with Davis and Fletcher because they know probably each other better than Ospreay and Fletcher.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So yeah, I feel it has to be one-on-one.
Cool. That'll be good to watch. Can't wait. Mm-hmm. A little bit of filler. There's a DraftKings ad.
Yep. As expected.
Just the one. And then it's not really a match, but it was.
Oh yeah.
Because it was billed as something happening, I've not classed it as filler because it's an event.
Yeah.
So it's the champagne celebration for Mariah May's championship and Mina Shirakawa hosting, I suppose.
Or preparing,
So she comes out, says some nice things about Mariah, and then Mariah comes out, and they have the toast where you put your arm through the other person's arm and you drink the champagne, which was really cute. And then let's celebrate, and then Mina Shirakawa is dancing on the top of the ramp, and then you can just see Mariah behind her with the champagne bottle, and it's ready to go. But Mina turns around and spots her and does a really cool looking kick, kicks the champagne bottle out of her hand, and obviously explodes because it's fake glass stuff. Breakaway. Gimmick glass. It's real.
We don't use the F word.
No, we don't. Sorry. And then obviously upset, Mina Shirakawa spears Mariah May off the ramp into some tables that are set up.
I think they overshot a little bit as well.
Yes, the first table did not break.
Looked quite brutal. It's almost like they hit and skipped like a skipping stone.
It skipped along. So Mariah May is just out cold. Doctor's checking on her and everything. Mina Shirakawa sort of regains consciousness, I guess, and then she's bleeding from the mouth. And just leans in and kisses Mariah May very much on the head, like Mariah May would do to other people, and then off she goes. So I guess that friendship's done.
You think? I think
Didn't
we know
last.
who the next challenger is for Mariah May's
I
title.
think so she's got her work cut out for her, does Mariah? Because I think Mina's got a grudge now.
Oh yes.
That was a great segment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it wasn't drawn
It was
out
short.
too much.
It was sweet.
To the point.
Yeah.
Drives the story.
Yeah.
Makes a mess.
Third women segment. It's always nice to have another mess segment.
Yes, we got something. We do have another bit of filler. It isn't another DraftKings ad, but it's not the same one.
They need time to clean up.
Yeah, they need time to clean up, and it's the main sponsor of the show, so they've got to put something in so they get the money. Seem to be. Okay, and then we get to our next match, which is for the AEW TNT Championship, Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. So Garcia's entrance is precluded, I think is the right word, by a voicemail recording from his mother, basically encouraging him to do the right thing, saying not to stoop to their level, and all of this stuff, and saying, I know you'll do the right thing because that's just who you are. And I imagine it was scripted, but it sounded sort of genuine, and it was a really nice touch, just leading into it. And this was a great match. It'll be interesting to see what goes forward, so we'll get into a bit what happened. It was hard hitting for sure, and great skill shown by both guys.
Even before we sort of get into the bell ringing and the match starting, Danny was sort of stood in the ring, and Jack Perry's making his entrance. He's got his goat head on and whatnot. And they kind of sort of go to sort of put the camera back on Daniel Garcia, and he's just stood there and he's like, he's kind of looking a bit worried and a bit like, oof, can I do this? Almost doubting himself.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I thought it was a really good way to sort of build it. Like, oh God, he's fumbling the ball already. You know, he's gonna fail because he's getting in his own head.
Obviously, Daddy Magic's on commentary as well.
Yep.
Being a bit of a support, kind of, and also making excuses for why he was involved in the kidnapping. But this is fine. Yeah, we get to a part of the ring. Jack Perry is getting frustrated, and he grabs the belt, brings it into the ring, but he lays it down in front of Daniel Garcia, who's on his hands and knees after being hit by something. And then he basically goes on his own knees and opens up his arms, like ready to be hit.
Scapegoat pose.
He's inviting
like a scapegoat pose,
Garcia to get disqualified, but to get the hit in that he wants to get. And Garcia contemplates it for a bit. But eventually, as we could probably guess, hands the belt to the ref. The ref goes to get it out of the ring, and of course, a bit predictable maybe, Jack Perry hits a low blow while the ref's back turned.
Jack Perry's not stupid, what can I say?
He's not stupid. It was either Garcia was going to get disqualified or Perry was going to get a low blow. Either way, he was going to win. So, there we go. Win is in that part.
Particular part, yeah.
I don't want to jump ahead too much.
That may or may not be his fault.
It is not. And then I guess we get to the finish, unless there's anything you want to put in between.
Nope.
So Garcia has a leg lock in on Jack Perry, some sort of leg lock thing.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
It's another moment where Jack Perry touches the ropes. He doesn't manage to grab them, but he does touch the ropes, and the ref does see it, but the ref doesn't call for the move to be
He got to the
broken.
ropes, it should have been broken. Simple as that.
So I don't know if they're just interpreting the rules differently, or it's ref's discretion wins out and he thinks they should continue.
I think the refs in this division, in this company, need glasses.
Maybe.
Or maybe a fresh rule book. Maybe they need to just whip out a rule book and right. He touched the ropes. Bear with me, guys.
Quite possibly. So Garcia manages to pull Perry back into the middle, wrenches back on this leg lock, and Jack Perry taps, meaning Garcia is the new champion. The new TNT champion.
Boo! Way too soon for Perry to be losing this.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, it was still a great match, but I still feel it was way too soon for Perry to lose this.
Yeah. It's a weird choice, but like you were saying in our predictions, with the Young Bucks losing the belts, it's sort of the writing was on the wall. Not that we agree that it should be when they lose the belts, so does Jack Perry, but...
And given that the Continental Classic is starting on Wednesday night, that basically is assured that Kazuchika Okada's losing that as well.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah, that's a shame.
In terms of predictions, I use that as my desired result for Jack Perry to win.
Mhm.
Even though I did state during the predictions, I feel that Garcia is going to win it.
Yeah.
So technically, I was right. And you also put Jack Perry to win, and you got that incorrect.
I did. But it will be very interesting now to see what Daniel Garcia does with his championship reign.
We're going to get that ugly-looking belt back, though.
Probably, yeah. Unless
Jack Perry, send me your belt. I really want that belt.
Because we were saying in our predictions that Daniel Garcia, he hasn't quite found his character yet, not fully. And maybe this is a chance. It's either a chance for him to find it and grab it and run with it, or it's going to fall a bit flat, this championship run. So we'll have to wait and see.
And I've said it before, that you could either, as you say, you could either run with it and it'd be really great, or you could end up like Hangman's title reign, which was just lackluster.
Exactly.
So
it's whether he makes the championship or he lets the championship make him. Well, we'll see. All right, next match. For the AEW International Championship, Konosuke Takeshita versus Ricochet. Clap, clap, clap.
Yep.
This, for most of this match, I think, or a large portion of it, Takeshita was just dominant. He didn't let Ricochet get any height at all, and that's what Ricochet needs to really shine.
Yeah, so Konosuke was playing a perfect game plan.
Yeah, pretty much, which was very cool. But both guys did have a good outing, but maybe Takeshita had more of a dominant outing for a large part of it. It was a great match, though. This is the one where I've said that Don Callis didn't interfere, so this is where he left.
This is the
commentary.
match. This is definitely the match where he got up
and
because he threw the headset down, he walked up and he was banging on the canvas to try and get Konosuke back up. Yeah. So it's definitely this match. But he didn't, as you say, he didn't interfere itself.
So that's two matches where Don Callis is there and doesn't bring out the screwdriver or anything.
So he was just trying to egg on Konosuke and be like, get up, get up, get up, get up.
He turned over a new leaf?
No. Be daft.
No, definitely not.
Jeez.
But yeah, another great match. As to be expected with these two people. I don't think it could be anything else.
I'm sure Don Callis has shares in a screwdriver manufacturer somewhere.
They've just got all the same ones. Have you got anything specific about this one?
This was one of the late announced matches. I was expecting more. I don't quite know what I was expecting, but I was expecting more from this match. Yeah. So it wasn't quite as good as I was anticipating, but it was still entertaining. Yeah. It just wasn't quite what I was expecting. Takeshita keeping Ricochet grounded, and we couldn't get a lot of that, the flippy stuff. Maybe, yeah. It just felt like it was something missing. Yeah. No, not to say it was a bad match, it was just something missing. Yeah, it could have been better, I suppose. So we're getting to the finish. Takeshita hits a Falcon Arrow off the top ropes and pins Ricochet to win. And retain. So Takeshita is still the AEW International Champion. In terms of predictions, these were put into the description of our predictions video because this was announced after Rampage. We both predicted Konosuke Takeshita to retain the title. Yes, I couldn't see it being dropped without any build-up, really. Way too soon. Definitely. I've been trying to figure out who would take it from him, though. Yes, that is interesting. Powerhouse Hobbs? Yeah. Someone who... He's used to be in and they let his contract expire as the storyline goes. That's an option. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, maybe. We shall see. So the next match is Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. Yeah, another great match. I mean, it's one of those, again, it's kind of, you get what you expect. It's hard hitting. I think maybe could have been more. I don't know. There was a lot of downtime in this match, I felt. Yeah. There was a lot of dead space. It's like you were saying with the last one, something wasn't quite up to expectations, but it was still a great match. Yeah, it was a good match, yeah. I literally it was a lot of downtime, but when it was flowing, it was a solid match. Yeah, definitely. But there was just too much downtime for me. Yeah. I kind of felt my attention wandering a little bit because of the lack of things going on in some places in this match. And I was like, oh, okay. Definitely. Shelton Benjamin was interfering a bit. He hooked Swerve's leg when he was doing something and got ejected. I think it was like the second time he tried something, he got ejected. But MVP is still around. But MVP didn't try much. We did get in Swerve's face at one point when
Yeah.
Lashley was on the outside.
Yeah, a bit of that, but nothing too involved. There was a fun moment. So Lashley set up the steps, sort of in position between the ring and the announce table at some point. I think he was trying to throw Swerve into them, but then Swerve used them later on, basically ran up the steps and hit the Swerve stomp on Lashley on the announce table from that run up, which was pretty cool visual. Enjoyed that.
It's just unfortunate the camera angle got Lashley jumping up though.
Yeah, he did.
Like, come on. I feel those announce tables a little bit too high.
Yeah.
To drop them down a little bit.
But yeah, nice to see announce tables getting destroyed. We love it. Can't have a pay-per-view without an announce table getting destroyed.
Damn straight.
A crazy power show. It was a good watch.
Yeah.
With the finish, Bobby Lashley gets Swerve Strickland into the Hurt Lock, and Swerve just passes out.
Yeah.
You can't. If the moment they start having people be able to last the Hurt Lock without getting a grip so they're not properly in it, I don't know what's going on.
To my recollections, only one person ever broke the Hurt Lock after it was locked in, and it was Braun Strowman. So that kind of makes sense.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of.
It's one of
Not
those
even Brock
moves,
Lesnar broke it, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like, it's hard to get in, but once it's in, you're done.
You're done.
And the moment, we've talked a bit about finishing moves should still be finishing moves, and this is like dropping pencils. This is one of the main ones that this is one of those big ones that if this one goes, then
yes,
I lose faith in the company a bit. So hopefully it won't happen. How's our predictions on that one?
We both predicted Bobby Lashley to win, and we both got that correct.
Wait. After the match, Prince Nana gets thrown into the ring and put into the Hurt Lock himself.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he passes out so quick.
Oh yeah, yes. I feel like if I was put in the Hurt Lock, I would at least pretend to pass out straight away to get out of it sooner.
Just become one of those tube men. Just be like, and fall down, and hopefully you'll just slip out of it, right?
Exactly. It's time for your favorite segment, though, everybody. It's time for Leanne signs her the pay-per-view. Leanne signs her the pay-per-view. Thank you. Is everyone ready for signs of the pay-per-view? You sitting comfortably?
I thought you were going, is everyone ready for signs of the pay-per-view with Leanne? Like, who's ready for story time with Adam Cole?
Doesn't have the same ring to it. There were a few good signs this time.
Who's ready for signs of the event with Leanne?
It doesn't work. So I got my top 3 signs. In third place, Christian doesn't pay child support.
Absolutely doesn't.
He has a lot of children. If he's paying child support for all of them, then he's got no money.
Total heel, yeah. 100%.
How dare he? Second place, newsflash, dumbass, leaves his plants. Which, we saw a few leaves his plants signs while Hangman Adam Page was out. And we're like, what on earth is this? And then we did some research and found that he's got a Blue Sky account.
Yes.
Blue Sky account, where he aggressively talks about gardening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where this comes from.
And then somebody was saying that leaves on plants or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, you promised us pictures of plants, but this is just a picture of leaves.
Yeah.
And his response was, newsflash, dumbass, leaves his plants, which you can't argue with that.
You can't.
So
fact, pal, fact.
So we've learned something, and now I might need to get Blue Sky to follow this account because it sounds great. But in first place,
so you go into our description down below on a link tree, you'll find our Blue Sky account.
Not more social media to keep track of.
Yeah.
In first place, the sign of the pay-per-view. Even Baby Yoda doesn't like Mercedes.
Oh my god, I missed that one.
As soon as I saw that one, I was like, it's got to be, it's the one.
I remember you saying, I've just seen the sign of the pay-per-view, and I'm like, I missed it.
Because obviously she was in Mandalorian. So there's a tie in there.
Yep.
And yeah, that is it. So if you are watching and that was your sign, or you know whose sign it was, and you can send like a picture of you holding it or whatever as just a little bit of proof, put it in our comments or share it on our socials, and we'll send you a little something as a congratulations for winning Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. And you know what that means.
It's time for the main event.
This is for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy.
I mean, from what I gather, it's time for the match. It's time for the defense of the AEW World Title briefcase.
Yes.
Because I'm convinced there's no title belt in that briefcase.
There can't be a title belt. That thing is too big to fit in that briefcase, right?
That briefcase looked so light. When I can't remember which referee it was, he just grabbed it and he was like...
I think it was Bryce.
And it's like, no, there's a substantial weight to it. You would feel it. You wouldn't just be flinging this thing around. Like,
yeah, no chance. No.
And imagine there's like an A4 printout of the title belt in there.
Probably. Because I was kind of expecting them to open it. It's like, oh, it's not there. But no.
I was kind of half expecting to open it and have it completely defaced, like torn apart.
Yeah, it's just in bits.
Yeah.
Or it's only the main plate.
Yeah.
With a hole in it. This was a great main event, though. I very much enjoyed it. It was violent.
Yeah.
Very engaging.
Yeah.
There was blood.
Yeah.
Mostly orange.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Moxley actually bled.
I don't think he did.
No.
But yeah, Orange Cassidy bled a lot.
That's fine, he bled for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Moxley had blood on him. It just wasn't his own.
Doesn't count if Moxley doesn't bleed.
It doesn't count.
It has to be 100% proof Moxley blood.
Dear me. The only sort of real note I've got is the long lead up to the finish because I was riveted on this match. So anything you've got before we... I mean,
Orange was like a blood orange. He was just bleeding everywhere, and everything he touched, there was just blood, and it was like, God. There's a point where he got sent into the steps.
Yes.
And he just hit the steps, and there was just a red outline, and it's like, oh my God.
There are a lot of red head prints left around the place.
And the nail scratch on the back.
Ooh,
that was
Moxley's scratched both hands down Orange's back, and you could see the blood coming up.
He was literally scratching him up.
And then Orange did the same thing to Moxley and was like, it's not the same. You tried.
I think Moxley purposely keeps his nails a bit longer.
Possibly, yes. Orange was like out the gate putting in effort.
Yeah, one of the DraftKings adverts from earlier was like, you can bet on such things like what move's going to be seen first, the Orange Punch or the Death Rider? And I literally went Orange Punch.
And it was
before the bell even rings. It's like Orange Punch, bang, ding, ding, ding. Orange Punch number 2, Orange Punch number 3, literally in quick succession.
Did we get? Sorry, carry on.
I was like, damn, I really wish I put a bet on that now.
All right. Did we get a hands in pockets moment?
Yes,
we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Yeah. Towards the end.
Yeah. I guess it's when he's winding down. It's like an act of defiance at that point, isn't it?
Because he starts kicking him, and Moxley goes to punch or forearm or something, and he just kind of ducks and bounces off the ropes.
All right. So partway through the match, Claudio and Pac come out because they've been conspicuous by their absence until partway through.
Yes.
So they go up on the apron on opposite sides like they do to be intimidating.
You're surrounded, pal.
And then members of the conglomeration come out to counter them. I can't remember exactly who it was off the top of my head.
It was Kyle Fletcher, Kyle Fletcher, Kyle O'Reilly, Tomohiro Ishii, and Rocky Romero.
Amazing. So they're beating up the Claudio and Pac.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mina Shafira is in the ring.
Mira.
Sorry. Hang on. What's her name?
Oh my God. Shafira. Now that you've said Mina, all I can think of is Mina.
Shafira's in the ring. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize.
I'm going to have to look this up now because that's going to spin me out. Damn it, wife.
So she's still got the briefcase in her hand because after she gave it to the ref, she got it back for some reason. This is like
Marina Shafira.
Marina Shafira. And out comes Willow Nightingale to counter her. So that was cool.
Who we haven't seen since, I want to say, Wrestle Dream.
We were talking about who it would be to counter her, and Willow.
I think I actually mentioned it in the predictions. Yeah,
definitely was. So that was very cool. And then, obviously, all this happening has distracted the ref. Obviously, but
are you even a referee if you don't get distracted?
I know you've got.
It's like a fly goes past, and they're like.
To be fair, there's like 4 separate fights happening now around the ring.
Well, yeah.
But Orange Cassidy grabs the briefcase and hits Moxley with it to get the upper hand. But then out pops Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
Who
don't know where the hell he came from.
No, he's just suddenly there.
My guess he's under the ring.
I think so too. He attacks Orange Cassidy and allows Moxley to
hit him with a Berserker knee.
There we go.
Which is Bryan Danielson's old move.
Yes.
Obviously.
It's like absorbed it from
Yes.
all that business. And Moxley hits the Death Rider and pins Orange Cassidy to win and retain the briefcase.
Your winner and still briefcase champion, Jon Moxley.
And he doesn't even hold it himself.
No.
There we go.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted Mox to retain.
Yeah.
So we both got that one correct.
Amazing. After the match, Wheeler Yuta and Moxley grab a bottle of what we believe is disinfectant. I think that commentators said it was disinfectant.
Yeah, for the cuts and stuff.
And they pour it on Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Into the bleeding and probably his mouth as well.
Yeah.
It is not fun.
No.
Then out. This gets a bit wild, to be honest. So Hangman Adam Page comes out with a chair.
Yeah.
And hits Wheeler Yuta with it and has a bit of a face off with Moxley.
So Mox's back is to the ramp at this point,
Yes.
just for clarity.
And then Christian Cage comes out and attacks Jon Moxley.
Hits him with the Unprettier or the kill switch.
And then I missed how it happened, but Hangman's now got.
Yeah, I
Christian's
was.
contract.
Yeah, I have
He
no
must
idea how that happened.
Picked it up off the floor or
I
something.
guess so. Yeah.
And then he's looking at Christian, like holding onto this contract, and they're like, "Argh," and then eventually does give the contract back to Christian, who goes up to the ref, and it looks like he's going to cash in, but he has
like,
to
you
sign.
need to sign it,
which is a whole business. At least with like WWE and the briefcase contract, you just hand it over and you're done. You don't have to like.
I guess that adds the thing, though, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, it does. And
I quite like
you can't sort of.
I quite like it.
Mistake, because sometimes in WWE you hand the briefcase over and then something happens. It means it doesn't, but then you don't know if they cashed in or not. So yeah, that makes sense.
As soon as signatures on paper, that's it, pal.
Mm-hmm. But before he can sign, Jay White comes out
out of nowhere. It's like, what the hell?
And hits Christian Cage with the Blade Runner. And then Claudio and Pac attack Jay White, which allows the Death Riders to escape.
I have no idea what the hell was going on. Yeah,
it's
nuts.
like I don't know.
Chaos.
It's like one in, one out, and it's a bit of a.
It was
a
great.
pylon.
Don't get me wrong, but it was like, what the hell is going on?
Madness. Right now? And then we go to the Death Riders in the car.
I was like, this isn't over yet. This isn't over because they're now going to the car park. Something else is happening.
So they're heading towards their van.
Truck.
Sorry.
Jack Perry drives a van.
Oh. Truck. Heading towards the truck, and suddenly it gets T-boned by another car, which you can see has got paint all over it. We draw our own conclusions.
Like skulls and whatnot.
And then it looks like they're like next to an ambulance. There's a little table. I think they grab some other car keys or
yeah, it
something.
looked like the valet table.
And they just get in someone else's car.
Like Claudio hits the guy sitting there, steals the keys to this car.
Luckily, it's a car that's close by, I suppose, and they drive away in that. And then Darby Allin gets out of the wrecked car. It's bleeding. Like total. He's bleeding.
He wrecked that thing.
He has a bit of trouble climbing up on the truck. And then I think he's probably hurt himself.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He didn't look quite right. He looked a bit.
I get the feeling he probably didn't bleed. I reckon he hit himself and he actually did. Maybe he's got a slight concussion, or
it could
just
be.
Was a bit out of it. Or
so
something.
he smashed the windscreen in with a skateboard, and then he's like, I don't know, something. He looked a bit dazed to me as a non-expert.
Yeah.
And then there's other people run out, and the show ends.
Yeah.
With chaos.
I think we know who the next challenger is.
I think so. So overall, I think it would be an understatement to say this was an action-packed show, even if you only take in the last 10 minutes.
Great. Yeah,
what just happened?
I loved it. There's always one match where I sort of dip.
Yes.
And I didn't really get that per se.
No.
Obviously, we talked about Swerve and Lashley, and I did kind of lose a bit of focus and stuff, but I didn't dip.
It's not like a dip.
I didn't
it's like
dip.
a...
Yeah. It's more like a little stutter. It's like as opposed to
it is a long show to keep your attention, so something's
5.5 hours, including the pre-show. Yeah,
something's gonna happen.
And the pre-show usually starts the matches half hour into it. This one started 10 minutes into it.
It was really early.
Oh my god!
But the whole show, a lot of angles were opened up or followed for storyline, so it sort of left a lot forwards to go to, which is great because it's gonna keep us coming back. So I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was great, really good. And it's always and then sort of after watching this, I was kind of thinking, is this one of the pay-per-views of the year? Like, do we do a thing at the end of the year, like which is our favorite pay-per-view? But then it's like, I don't remember what happened 3 pay-per-views ago because it's like
so
6 months ago or whatever. It's like, oh my god. We could go back and watch Revolution, which I think was the first pay-per-view of the year for AEW, and it's going to be a completely different landscape to what
Yeah.
we've got now. And it's just like, oh my god, how do we even get you again?
Yeah.
You know?
So much happens in the year. It's mental.
All right, now we come to that part, Leanne, where it's your least favorite time of the show. What was your least favorite match?
This one's so easy.
Ready? In 3, 2, 1. QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ.
Hands down. And like we said, it's not for us.
No.
It's people who like them, enjoy the match, great. Not for us though. That's fine. And that's okay.
Yeah,
You're allowed to like everything.
this didn't hit on anything for me. I felt it was a waste of time on this, as they say. I felt this should have been a Rampage or Collision or something like that, you know. What was your favourite match of the event?
Bit trickier, but I've gone with Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto. That thing was an absolute roller coaster, up and down all the way. So good.
For sure.
So damn good.
Like we sort of predicted, we talked about our most looking forward to matches, and there's like 2 or 3 up there for contention. And I think there were a couple up there for contention on favourite match, but this one, it did pip to the post. And
my prediction for that was the tag team title, the 4-way.
Yeah.
And that was definitely up there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the Ospreay Fletcher had all that story behind it.
Yes.
Everything behind it. And it didn't have any Don Callis interference. It was just these two guys going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was a good springboard, as you say, for Kyle Fletcher, because now he's gone from here. Oh my God, he just beat the Billy Goat. So now he's up here somewhere.
Uh-huh. And it was decisive.
So you know he's going to come out on Dynamite and be like, well, I just beat Will Ospreay. Ha ha ha.
Let's hope he gets a better fitting crown.
Yeah. That's... Cool. All right. What's next then, Leanne?
Oh, next is WWE.
Yep.
It's gone. I'm sorry.
War Games!
War Games! I can't believe I forgot that. War Games Survivor Series.
There it goes.
That one. And that is next weekend.
Yes.
Yay.
But then it's literally at this moment has 3 matches announced.
3 matches. I know 2 of them are going to be War Games matches, right?
Correct.
So they're long.
Well, it's the women's War Games match and the Bloodline versus the Bloodline match.
Bloodline.
Yeah.
So we're not expecting a large number of matches because of that, and because WWE has got too much filler.
I mean, they're trying to keep, from what I've heard, they're trying to keep the PLEs to 3 hours marks.
Okay,
that feels quite nice. Apart from like maybe Royal Rumble, maybe WrestleMania, the big ones, which makes sense. Survivor Series is one of the big 4 though for me.
Yeah.
But we'll get into those on our Survivor Series predictions, which is coming probably Wednesday. I don't think we're going to get to do it Tuesday because of a bake-off.
Bake-off! Great British Bake-Off, yes.
So that'll be out on Wednesday, and then our reactions will be up a week today on the Sunday, which I believe is the 1st of December.
Ooh!
So yeah.
Merry Christmas!
Yeah. So
or other holidays.
On the back of that one, if any of our AEW fans are from America and they don't watch the WWE stuff, have a great Thanksgiving on Thursday. That is coming up on Thursday. For those of you who are watching our WWE stuff, we will wish you a better Thanksgiving on Wednesday.
You'll have a better Thanksgiving with
us.
You
know what I mean. We'll wish you a good Thanksgiving there. I mean, you know what I mean. Yes. So after that, what's after that, Leanne?
After that is AEW's World's End. We're because we're going to be away for the holidays, and because everyone needs a break in the holidays, we won't be doing our predictions as a video. We'll instead do a post on social media to give you our predictions. So just to give you a heads up,
kind of like what we did with Wrestle Dream, because I think I think that was when we were in Romania.
That was our honeymoon break, and this is our holidays break.
Yeah.
So but we will come back with our reactions to it as normal.
Yeah. As such, given the sort of thing with work and family stuff and friends and that during the month of December and the holidays, people are going away and whatnot, we probably will be a little lighter on videos in general.
We'll reduce a little bit.
Yeah, just we need a break as well.
Yeah.
But we'll still bring you some good quality content, providing Leanne can remember the names of things. But yeah, so we will have our reactions to World's End as a video. That won't change. That'll be on the 29th of December. The pay-per-view itself is on the 28th. So
yeah.
Cool.
Amazing.
Take us away, Leanne.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Please like this video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Joking.
Maybe. That's just going to be a lurker account. It's fine. So leave us a comment below or on our socials. I can't remember what we asked earlier on in the thing. We asked something, didn't we? I can't remember.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. talk to us anyway. Let us know what your favourite match of the show
Oh, it was
was.
the Acclaimed. If the Acclaimed pinned each other, who would win?
Oh, yeah. Let us know your thoughts on that debacle, that conundrum.
Conundrum. That's a great word. That doesn't get used enough. Conundrum.
Use conundrum in your post to get extra points. We don't do points.
Oh, do we? Maybe we should implement a point system.
Ooh, I like it.
Hang on, I feel like that Rizzler guy now, stroking his chin.
No.
I have no idea what that goes like. Don't rizz me. If that's a thing, I have no idea. I'm not down with the kids.
It means charisma,
How do you do
think.
that?
No.
That thing.
I think it's not even those fingers. That's the right one. They do it
That's
with
what I used.
They do it like with some other fingers. I don't know.
Just carry on.
I don't
Get
know.
on with it.
Anyway.
Be until bloody Survivor Series otherwise.
We'll see you at War Games. Not at War Games, but around War Games. So until next time.
Don't forget, leaves is plants.
Club.